episode of Making the Call. I'm joined by Rosie and Alex this week, and we are here to break down all the action from NFL Week 7, talk about just the myriad of injuries that the NFL suffered this past week and kind of what all that means for the season moving forward, both from a football standpoint, fantasy standpoint, and everything else. And so before we get into all the stuff from NFL Week 7, we will start this podcast the way that we always do, which is going through our one big headline. So let's start with that. Rosie, how about you kick us off?
Yeah, as you said, it was a tough day for injuries. So I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on some of my hits this year, but not from this year, from last year. So some of my hits from last year that I completely gave up on. Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
Looks great. Looks like the number 2 in Dallas. Statistically the worst rookie running back in the NFL last year. Tank Bigsby. Looks like the starting running back. Finally took over for ETN. I think my what do you call it? Big guess, like breakout from last year was Tank. And
yeah, you were really high on him last year. Yeah, for sure.
And then Sean Tucker looks great.
Yeah.
Completely gave up on him. I cut him in all my dynasty leagues.
I honestly thought he was rookie this year. I didn't even know he'd already been in the league for a year.
Right. And then Noah Gray. Noah Gray, I loved him coming out. And he's finally taking over for Kelsey.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding on the last point. But just remember, kids, never wrong, just early.
Never wrong, just early. There you go. All right. Alex, your one big headline.
Yeah, my one big headline actually continued on today. My boy Christian Pulisic is world class right now. This dude, I think I called it early in the season. I was expecting a career year with them moving. We're sort of focusing as him as the focal point of the offense and sort of just their star player at AC Milan. So they played 8 games. He has 5 goals, 3 assists, and that's not counting the Champions League. In 3 games, he has 2 goals and 1 assist there too. So this dude is just on pace for 40 goal assists or like goals scored. So it's looking pretty good.
Jeez.
He's world class. Like you saw the goal today, Andrew, from the corner. They're called like an Olympio. Only like 3 dudes have scored that style of goal in the Champions League. So he joins that short list. But he's just playing out of his mind right now. And for someone going to see him live in Italy in about a month, I'm pretty psyched, dude.
Man, I love it. So does Pulisic does it feel like he's taking kind of the next step, like in his development as a player?
He's finally sort of gotten over his injury woes and like he's being played in the right position, played consistently, just given the chances he deserves, and he's taking advantage of them. Finally.
I love it. So between that and obviously the new coach, where are you at on the men's national team as a whole?
Still wait and see with that whole thing. He's only been in charge for like 6 weeks at this point, but we're excited. I mean, definitely more excited than if Greg was still in charge or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We don't have Greg, which is great.
Yeesh.
Got it. Okay. All right. My one big headline. So I got a few we can run through real quick. The NBA season starting. So we're recording this on
Celtics look amazing
Tuesday night. And so right now the Celtics and the Knicks are currently playing as the first game of the upcoming NBA season, but NBA is back.
Cat looks weird in a Knicks jersey. Gonna take some time to get used to that.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about that trade.
We really haven't talked any NBA in the last couple months.
We haven't. I did a little bit last week when I was by myself, but
yeah,
I I'm really high on the Knicks. Like, I think Cat is an upgrade over Julius Randle, but to
Yeah.
me,
You
the
just
thing
gotta
with the
stand.
Knicks is just the fact that they've got Mikal Bridges now. Like, I think that is what takes them over the top. But
For sure.
yeah, but NBA season starts. We have new ways to watch the Mavs.
Yeah.
They could have made it so easy, Alex.
Close.
They could have made it so easy.
Just, copy the stars, but no. 120
And
big
like,
wins.
Maybe they will.
Yeah, wait and see. Maybe like
all
channel
I want them to do
becomes easier
is
to
like, okay, so you've got them on channel 29, which you can buy an antenna to watch it. Which,
It's
Alex,
only in
I
the
thought you
Dallas
put this.
area, though, right?
get pain.
No, no, you're right. It is only in the Dallas area.
Dang.
Yeah. for
My
the
thing
antenna.
is like, just make it available on all the streaming TV options.
Yeah.
Just put it on YouTube TV, put it on Hulu, put it on Sling, all that. Like, if no one wants to have any of that and they want to pay the $125 to just watch the Mavs, that's fine. But the expectation that you're paying, $90 a month for YouTube TV and then $125 for the Mavs, and it's like, no, people can't do that. So
'Cause
that's
YouTube
why I
TV
like what
has
this.
cable channels, right?
Yeah, they've got them all.
They used to have regional sports networks, but that went away, and it's been a struggle ever since.
Yeah, no. So that's my only hope. I mean, I've got League Pass at least until like February. So I went out and got a VPN so that I can just, trick the NBA into thinking I don't live in the Dallas area. So that should at least help. But my
Where's your
hope is
VPN
that,
at?
like, where do I have it located?
Yeah.
Right now I'm in Charlotte
Nice.
because I don't
Good
care about
stuff.
watching Hornets games.
Rip.
That's a smart choice.
Yeah. But they could have made it so easy. Hopefully throughout the season they can get on like YouTube TV or something. That would be great.
We'll see.
So yeah.
I feel
And
like
then
this was
final
scrambled
thing.
together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't hear
Yeah.
anything about the streaming or the over-the-air antenna stuff until like a week ago.
Yeah. No, it's been very kind of last
Sudden.
minute.
Yeah.
My only hope is that because the Rangers won't be on Bally next season, that they've got more time to figure this out and just go on Victory Plus with the Stars.
I don't see
really
why they
easy.
all three didn't just do that.
It's really easy.
They
Just
were
do
all-
that.
yeah.
Or if you're going to do something else, have it be on YouTube TV, or heck, even have like Amazon Prime broadcast your games, because almost everyone's got access to
I mean,
an Amazon
DraftKings
Prime
is
account,
getting into the broadcasting business.
or FanDuel.
FanDuel. Yep. Well,
FanDuel basically bought all the Bally channels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
by the Mavs.
it's
We're
kind
already
of
run by
funny that
Casino Mogul. Or Mogul.
what's that?
So we're already run by a Casino Mogul. So
It is kind of funny that they basically waited until after Pete Rose passed away to announce the FanDuel partnership. Seemed a little too coincidental on the timing there. But he can't be in the Hall of Fame, right? Because he
now
gambled.
we can. Lifetime
There's no place
ban
for
is-
that with baseball.
Lifetime
Stupid.
ban's over.
Yeah. And then last one big headline. A lot of you have already seen via social media, but I'm going to have a lot more legitimacy with these dad jokes come April because Becca and I are having a baby. So
Whoa.
that's exciting.
Congratulations, man. First time hearing it.
Yeah, I know. Making the call, guys, you guys have known for a little while, but yeah, we're pretty pumped. We're excited. I'm hyped to join the dad gang. So maybe this just turns into a parenting podcast with, some
And Alex.
parlays. Maybe we just call it parenting and parlays. Maybe that's the rebrand.
PP.
Yeah, I'll give you the perspective from the other side every once in a while.
The PPP, the Parenting and Parlays podcast. Brought to you by FanDuel.
Prize
All
Picks
right.
shoes right there.
Oh, yes. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Absolutely. Oh man. All right. Let's get into week 7. Holy crap, there was a ton of injuries.
It was awful.
Like,
Rip receivers.
dude, Chris Godwin was the most unnecessary thing that happened. I felt like I lost a family member, to be honest, when he went down.
Now Baker's gonna suck. He's got no one to throw
so let
to.
me run through these.
Maybe
Deshaun
we'll
Watson
check.
tore his Achilles. We'll get to that. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL. Debo Samuel apparently has pneumonia and he's in the hospital. George Kittle has a sprained foot. Mike Evans has a torn hamstring, is likely out until week 12.
It's
Chris
torn?
Godwin is going to have, or it's some sort of hamstring. He's out until week 12.
Okay.
He looked bad.
Chris Godwin is going to have season-ending ankle surgery.
His foot was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
So
that's
he's
tough.
done.
Like the Dak.
DK Metcalf has an MCL sprain. He's week to
Grade
week.
1.
Jaden Daniels. What's that?
So pretty much you just said grade 1 week to week. We're good there compared to everybody else here.
Exactly.
You're
It
listening
doesn't
off.
even feel like an injury compared to everyone else. Jaden Daniels injured his ribs. He's week to week. And then this is not injury related, but we've got Rosie on the podcast. Jamison Williams just can't stay out of trouble and suspended 2 games for PEDs. So
Must have taken like a diuretic or something. I don't know. Like a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, 2 games is so short. It's weird.
I wonder what
Yeah.
he did. I wonder if it was like weed or something.
The weed's allowed.
yeah.
But out of my 7 leagues, I have Jameson in 5 of them and Godwin in 4 of them. So we were feeling a lot of pain last night.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Mhm.
Especially
Browns.
because it just yeah.
Yeah, they were.
I think
torn
they
up
have
and-
insurance on him too. So if he doesn't come back next year, I think they get a percentage of their cap back.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that'd be good.
The bright side, I guess.
I gotta say that Sunday afternoon after Deshaun Watson got hurt was just one of those moments where, like, no matter what happens with Twitter, it's like those are the moments when you need to be on Twitter, because the tweets and the memes were just they were great. Like I saw one tweet where it was basically like, my entire timeline is seemingly celebrating the injury of another human being. There's no but to this tweet. I just wanted to let everyone know that it's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think that's an exception, right? Normally we don't cheer for injuries or we don't find any sort of solace in it. But I don't know. I have a hard time sympathizing with Deshaun Watson. How do
He
you
did
guys
nothing
think?
wrong.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
Miles Garrett.
Yeah, that's what he said, right?
I personally love that we got the Jameis Winston drama year student 1 speech. That was pretty funny.
QB3.
He's got some great dreads too. Those are pretty tight. I like him.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if you're a teammate like Miles Garrett or Jameis, I don't even blame you for having that reaction, because it's like
Yeah,
it's different when you're.
I don't get why
I don't know.
why Deshaun got that reaction though. He's never really even spoken up for any of his teammates. I didn't
No,
really
no.
talk
I
much about the Browns
At
quarterback.
least it's not Aaron Rodgers though.
True.
Well,
Well,
okay,
actually,
all right.
I think Aaron's
Let's.
better. Personally,
I'm no fan of Aaron Rodgers, but let's cool down.
No, I
with
mean like
that.
throwing his teammates under the bus.
Oh. Yeah,
as he does
I still
like
think
weekly.
I still think I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
That's
yeah,
just
me too. Yeah.
But-
it sucks. We'll get to him.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene. I don't blame Browns fans for cheering. Honestly, go for it. I think if there's any player where you can feel justified in doing that, it's him.
I will say one thing about Browns fans. they were a fan of his until he sucked at football, not because of his personal issues. Just saying they were very happy for getting him and kicking Baker out of town. Just want to point that out.
Not all of them.
Not
There
all
were
of them,
definitely some, but there were a lot that were really upset with that move when it happened.
yeah, the smart ones were, and then the
Yeah. So he's obviously done for the year. Let's make our prediction now. Does Deshaun Watson take another snap on an NFL field?
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
I mean, we saw
But the
Tim
odds are
Boyle.
probably like only minus 200. Yes, so we're teetering.
I'm gonna say no.
I don't
Really?
think he starts for another team.
I don't think he plays for another
I
team.
think
I think he's done.
You don't know how desperate the Panthers are right now, man.
No, from a football standpoint, why would any team give him a shot? And
But someone desperate, like in the Panthers situation, like David Tepper would definitely give it a shot. Come on,
Panthers would never do that now.
David Tepper would do
And
that.
they see that Andy Dalton's better than him. And
dude,
then
there could be a live football team, and I don't know if Deshaun Watson's the quarterback of that team.
True. I don't think any XFL team would touch him.
No.
I feel like it
definitely
would
not.
have to be like a Russell Wilson situation, but
What do you mean?
like he's traded to he got traded to the Steelers, right?
Yeah, in the offseason.
Yes.
But like
Well, no, he got
No, he got traded
Cut.
by the Broncos in the offseason, right? Or did he get cut and then
he got cut, and then he signed for
You're
like
right.
$1 million.
that's what I'm talking about then is
Yeah.
him getting signed for like $1 million at some team that just doesn't have a starter at all. Because I'm sure he would want to do that.
I did hear something that was pretty
Raiders.
funny.
Raiders could do that.
Since Deshaun Watson got traded to Cleveland, he's been there for 3 seasons, and he's played 6 games, exactly 6 games in all 3 seasons.
Is that true? How's that possible?
That's spooky.
I'm gonna look it up to make sure, but
Only 6? Because I thought he played that whole first season. Oh no! He was suspended the
got
whole
hurt.
first season.
exactly. Well, okay, maybe that's not true because he played 7 games this
Dang
season.
it.
6, 6, 7. Oh, we were so close. So close to something there. Let's talk about some of the injuries that we're actually upset about. I mean, Brandon Ayuk out for the year. Deebo Samuel's got pneumonia.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on with Christian McCaffrey? George Kittle has a sprained foot. Is this the season from hell for the 49ers?
They are
Yeah,
not
this is
nearly as
beginning of
bad
the
off
end
as the
for the
Rams.
This is the end of the line for their core, especially if they're going to pay Brock Purdy.
Elaborate. End of the line. What do you mean?
Like their core of Debo, Kittle, Trent Williams, all those type of guys, they're getting older. They're already falling apart as we can see. Well, CMC too. I didn't even mention him because he's been out of the spectrum for so long. But all those guys, and then adding on to the fact that Brock Purdy's payday is coming up. They already paid Brandon Ayuk, and he's gone for at least the next 12 months. Like, that's already turning out to be something they probably shouldn't have done. I don't see. I think they're going to be in cap hell for the next couple of years. And they missed their window to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are only getting better. They're 6-0, and they haven't even played a good game yet. Other teams are getting better, stuff like that.
Like, do you think Debo leaves? Is he the odd man out?
I don't think Debo leaves. I just think he's pretty much at his peak, and it's only downhill from here. And I don't think he's good enough to carry them, at least for this season and for the foreseeable future.
Well, I mean, they
only
have
gonna get
signed
worse.
everyone that they need to, other than Brock.
Yeah, but all the guys they have signed are also guys that are hurt right now or just proven to have injury concerns. And I'm just that, along with just Shanahan can't beat Andy Reid, and it just seems like they might need to find someone new. Maybe not soon, but
That's
something
not
to
gonna
think
happen.
It's something I am sort of semi in 49ers Twitter because it's so connected to Seahawks Twitter. And I've seen those rumblings from some of their diehard fans. They're starting to get a little upset with Shanahan.
I'll gladly take him in Dallas. We can just do a 1-for-1 swap.
Yeah, I don't
They
think
take McCarthy. We take Shanahan. We'll even give him back Trey Lance if they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
think losing, for the most part, a close game to the Chiefs while being down everyone on the team, you're not in a bad spot. This is an overreaction.
They're three.
Nah, I
three-
think their
right now.
window's closed. I'm with Alex.
They're 3-4 right now. They got the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. It's a loser goes.
Oh, they're
home
gonna
type.
drill the Cowboys.
No, don't. I don't want that talk from you, Andrew. The Cowboys are gonna drill the 49ers.
No, they're
Come on.
No, man. No.
Dude, the 49ers are down. The 49ers are down. This is
Mason's
where you
gonna run
get-
for $180. Jawan Jennings is gonna have 2 tutties. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
I need the Cowboys to win. I really do.
Nope, it ain't
I need
happening.
them to deliver the knockout blow. 3-5, they can't come back from that.
You know the scene from How I Met Your Mother. I think Barney's like jinxed or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
like tapping Marshall, and Marshall's just like, "Not happening, bro. Not happening,
Yeah.
bro." That's
Well-
that's me about the Niners losing to the Cowboys.
That's
Not
my
happening,
pipe
bro.
dream for next Sunday night.
Okay, let's look at the teams that they lost to.
Yeah.
They crushed the Seahawks. They lost to the Chiefs, who are the best team in the league. They lost by 1 point to the Cardinals in a division game. They lost by 1 score to the Rams in a division game. And they lost to the Vikings.
Counterpoint: the only teams they've beaten were the Jets in Week 1, the Patriots, and then they beat the Seahawks 2 weeks ago.
Seahawks
Yeah.
are a good team.
Yeah, but it's a
Seahawks
division
are-
And
game.
they play those
I-
other games close.
More of what I'm saying is like they have to pretty much run the table from here on out because they're going to play the Seahawks again in a couple weeks off our bye, and they're not going to be healthy enough for that. Like their season is coming up fast. Like it's. I
just think I don't know. To me, it's not even like a talent issue with them. It just feels like the vibes are way off coming off the Super
Yeah,
Bowl
this is
loss.
like they made the Super Bowl the last 2 years and lost. They're getting hit with all these injuries, all the wear and tear sort of coming up at once. Like you said, year from now.
I'm making the call. They're winning the division.
Oh, wow.
Did you hit the siren? Oh, no siren.
I didn't know if he said
No, I-
it.
No, I need to add it back. I don't have it right now.
Okay.
Alex just
But
go-
Rosie said they're winning the division. So
yeah, they're winning the division.
there you go. Not the
Well,
Cardinals.
Definitely not the Cardinals.
we'll see how it plays out, but so a quick little teaser for next week. After week 8, that's whenever we get to make our changes to our playoff predictions from before the season.
Ooh.
And I'm looking at them right now. Alex and I were the only ones who did not have the Niners in the playoffs. Trent had them as a 1 seed, and Rosie and Austin both had them as wild card teams. So we'll see.
We shall.
We'll see what happens.
I like what I did much better than last year on those.
Honestly, ours don't look that bad. There's a
Yeah.
few kind of glaring holes. All of us having the Jets in the playoffs, I think, is a big one.
Yeah. Shoot.
Me
it's
having the
limited.
Jets as a 2 seed just feels really silly. But hey,
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
you can't win at all. It kind of feels like the NFC South is the Falcons division to lose at this point with the Bucks injuries, don't you think, Alex?
Yeah. After all these injuries this week, I would say so. I think Kirk, he just had an off game this week against the Seahawks. Tough defense coming off a mini bye week, so plenty of time to study film and all that. But yeah, I think it's this Falcons division to lose. As long as they
Yeah.
stay healthy themselves, too. Because if they lose Bijan or something like that, then the tables have all of a sudden sort of evened out.
They've been relatively healthy this year, I thought.
Exactly. So knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels that way to me, especially because the rest of the division, Tampa Bay injuries aside, but the Saints just are a complete mess.
Shout out Spencer Rattler, man. I did
Just
not expect him to ever see him take some NFL snaps this early.
And here's what I don't understand. They are in like absolute cap hell, right?
Yep.
Did you guys see they just signed Kamara to an extension
Today?
today,
Yeah.
Tuesday?
I thought they were about to trade him.
That's what I thought too. 2 years,
should.
$24 million.
Maybe they're just moving some cap space room around or something like that. Is that why they gave him the extension?
Maybe.
Or,
I don't
It doesn't
think
make
putting
any
more
sense
money
to me,
into the
man.
Future. I mean, that is a very Saints move. But honestly, like Kendra looked okay when he played, even though the offensive line is completely gutted at this point, and they don't have any receivers and they don't have a quarterback. I don't know why you sign a running back.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense to pay a running back right now.
Especially when you drafted a rookie last year.
Facts.
This isn't an original take, but I feel very strongly like I agree with this. A good running back is a difference maker for a really good team. Does absolutely nothing if you're mediocre or bad.
Yeah.
Like I saw, you guys know Michael Lombardi. He's
yeah. The film guy.
yeah. He has been like on an all-time heater of bad football takes this season. And it's Michael Lombardi, right? I think so. Yeah. He had a tweet today because, Jerry Jones went on his radio show and reiterated that he doesn't think Derrick Henry would have had the same success in Dallas and we couldn't afford him because of the cap, yada, 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 which would he have had the same success that he's having in Baltimore? No, because you don't have Lamar Jackson in that backfield, which is just buffalo chicken for a running back to have that dude as your quarterback.
Yeah.
But he still would have been really good and he wanted to be in Dallas. I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. But Lombardi tweeted, "It's interesting how everyone is destroying the Cowboys for not signing Henry, yet no one is giving the Titans crap for letting him walk." The Titans are a bad football team. It would have made no sense for them to sign Derrick Henry. It would have made no sense for the Giants to keep Saquon. If you're a bad roster, what does a good running back do for you? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you saw all the people on Twitter roasting the Giants too. Like, oh, they should have paid Saquon.
Yeah.
No, they shouldn't have. They're a bad team.
Yeah. There's like 7 teams where a good running back actually makes a difference. It's not the Giants and the Titans. It's
or the
like
Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys are the literally absolute worst running team in the NFL. So I think Derrick Henry would have made a little bit of a difference.
I think drafting literally anyone would have helped.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone other than Ezekiel Elliott. Holy smokes.
Zeke still projecting as like a 6-point fantasy player is just a bad sign. Red flags all around. Should be like 2.5.
Dude, it's bad. But again, stop. I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. I want to talk about
roping you back into it though.
I know what you're doing. I know it.
Beating you with your own fandom.
Although I did have a tweet today because
I saw that.
And we're gonna talk about this in a second, but the Rams are actively calling teams trying to trade Cooper Kupp. And I said they won't do it because they don't do smart things, but I'm backing on the Cowboys if they trade for Cooper Kupp, and I 100% believe that. I think
they only want 2nd round pick, so
I know that Cowboys won't do it because it's the smart thing to do. Instead, he's going to go to like the Chiefs, and they're just going to win another Super Bowl.
I wish the Chiefs would do something like that. They never do though.
Maybe the Bucs, maybe Tampa Bay steps in.
I mean, Cooper Kupp is one of those players where you put him on any team, instantly better.
Yeah,
you know where
stay
he
healthy.
you know where he would be fun? And
Bills.
as long as this injury isn't serious for this season, put him on Washington.
Ooh. Yeah.
Put him in that offense.
Yeah.
Whew.
Exactly.
Oh
Cliff
man.
having him run the same route over and over and over again.
Yeah, he's already a QB glitch or a cheat code that aligned with the scrambling ability from Jaden Daniels would be ridiculous.
Yeah. Real quick, Alex, any concern from you on the DK Metcalf thing?
No, not really. He gave a little thumbs up on the card, and we saw it's just a grade 1 sprain. I don't think he's going to play this Sunday. He'll probably miss one game, but that's okay. JSN is due for a big game anyways.
I was about to
Against
say,
the
can we call him a
Bills.
bust yet?
No, I think he's just on a team that has a lot of mouths to feed, including
He's
Kenneth
getting
Walker.
targets.
Tyler Lockett is still like relevant at times. DK is having a career year himself, so I don't think he's bust material yet. But if you're expecting him to be a banger like right out the gate, then yeah, I'd say he's bust material in that scenario. But no, I think he's exactly what he needs to be right now, which is our third/second best option, really depending on the game and the matchup. But right now, it's his time to step up with DK out against the Bills, and I think he can, especially at home.
Wait. Who are we having the bus conversation about?
Jackson
JSN.
Smith and Jigba.
Oh, no. Come on. Way too early for that.
He's a bust if
Way too
you're
early.
expecting
We
to
can
be
have
like
a
one of these
conversation.
LSU receivers, like they just hit the scene and they're amazing, like Brian Thomas, Jacksonville, et cetera, et cetera. But
He's
Yeah.
had opportunities, and he's just a slot merchant at this point. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be
well,
like,
that's what he plays.
All
He's a
right.
slot.
All right. I won't stand for
Right.
this. Let's relax a little bit.
he was a
He's in his
first round
second.
pick.
He's in his second
Hey,
season.
remember what
right?
we just talked about? You were just early, Rosie. Just wait on it.
I'm not in on JSN. I don't think he's.
Dang.
I
he's
think he's
fine.
really good.
He
You
has
guys
never
know my
shown
high
that.
school. You guys know my high school stat theory. I'm not giving up on JSN.
What's that?
If a guy just has absolutely ludicrous stats in high school, he's going to be really good at the NFL.
Don't all
And-
NFL players?
No, not to. I'm talking about like Derrick Henry high school level stats, like ones that just like, honestly, like what Ashton Genty is doing
I was
right
gonna
now
say,
in Boise
yeah.
State.
Can't wait to draft that dude in the Dynasty League next year.
Cowboy.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm talking about like the outliers. Because JSN went to Rockwall Heath here in
Mhm.
DFW, maybe Rockwall. He went to Rockwall, not Rockwall Heath. And okay, let's see.
Is
I know I've read
everyone
these
from
on the pod.
DFW? Like,
I mean,
They're
Texas
either
football,
from-
baby.
Texas or Florida or California.
no, I mean like specifically DFW. Like Janty's from DFW too.
He is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from.
Okay,
Frisco.
so in JSN's senior year at Rockwall, he had 103 receptions for 2,162 receiving yards and 35 receiving touchdowns. And that was in how many games did they play? Like 12 games, something like that.
Yeah. Depending
And then
on
he
the
also
player.
had 4 rushing touchdowns. And then if you look at 2018, his junior year, he had 97 receptions, 1,800 receiving yards, 20 receiving touchdowns, and he also had 6 touchdowns on the ground. So it's like Derrick Henry level, just ludicrous. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about JSN.
Maybe he can go back
Not
to high
worried.
school.
Maybe you can go back to high school.
Nah, big game
Couldn't
coming
cut it.
up. Big game coming up.
All right. We've got a surprise segment coming up here in a second. Before we get to that, I need to go get a page of notes for that, and it's in the other room. So,
Okay.
I need you guys to riff. Do you want to riff about the Jaden Daniels rib injury, or do you want to talk about the most exciting teams that Cooper Kupp could get traded to?
Oh, let's keep it on the cup.
Okay, you guys talk about Cooper Kupp. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Well, with all the injuries yesterday in the Monday Night Football game, I'd love the Bucks to just go ahead and go grab him. I think him and Baker would immediately work. He's the perfect type of quarterback for him, sort of like a Matthew Stafford light, same type pocket passer type. What do you
Well,
think?
for one, do you think they re-signed Godwin?
Is he up for a contract
Yep.
now?
Yep.
I think they try to just keep Godwin and Evans as their core for the next few years with Baker.
Well,
Yeah.
Andrew's back. I want him to go to the Bills so that we can get two Coopers, one Cup.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I didn't want to steal it. I was going to. Yeah.
I'll steal it. It's funny.
That's good. I
Thank
like
you, Twitter
that.
person.
All right. Surprise segment. Rosie and Alex don't know what this is. I texted them earlier, said, hey, I got a surprise segment for you. And Rosie said, what is it? I said, well, I just sent him a screenshot of the dictionary definition of surprise.
It's not a very good surprise if that's what it was.
So what I've got here is our favorite futures bets from the division previews back in August.
I know.
And I just want to do kind of a seven game into almost just over a third of the way into the season check-in to see how some of these are looking. Okay.
And you already saw them? Like you read?
Yeah. I mean, because I had to make notes. What's that?
It's not pretty.
Nice, man.
No, there are some. Okay. So there are some that are really bad, but there are some that are we have one that's already hit. So
Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll run through. Yeah. So let's run through these and just see. Because what I want to do is at the end of the season, we'll take a final tally and we'll assume if you bet $10 on all of these, did you make money or did you lose money? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these have crazy odds. So I like our chances. One that's already hit is Alex had Chiefs to be the last undefeated team in the NFL at plus 800. So can already cash that because that was the Chiefs. They are still undefeated. They're the only undefeated team. So shout out to Alex for that one.
Not in the way that we thought, though.
No. Still not even impressed, but hey, 6-0.
Hey, they're 6-0. We'll talk about that. There's two that have already missed. One is Austin had the Chiefs to score 1+ passing touchdown in every game at plus 400. There's already been 2 games where they haven't done that. And then Alex had the Ravens to score a field goal in every regular season game at plus 1,400.
And Trent circumvented that one. It has Aubrey, right? Is that
which
on
is
that
still?
I know we talked about it.
Yeah, Trent wasn't on for the NFC East pod, but I know he bet that, and it's still holding true with Aubrey. So shout out to him, best player on the Cowboys. So those are the ones that are already settled. So we're 1-2, but if you bet $10 on all of those, you're up 6 units through 3 bets. So how about that? Let's just run through these. AFC East. I had Garrett Wilson over 1,100.5 receiving yards at minus 120. He's at 460 through 7 games. So I don't hate that. He's on track. Austin had Tyreek Hill 13+ receiving touchdowns at plus 350.
That ain't happening.
Do you guys want to guess how many he has through 6 games?
Is it
2?
1?
It's 1. So
bad.
Washed.
We could mark that down as an L, but technically it's still alive. And then Rosie had Pats under 4.5 wins at plus 120.
Looking good.
So they're 1-6. Looking good.
Real good.
And you actually double dipped Rosie, and you also had Josh Allen under 9.5 rushing touchdowns at minus 115, and he's got 3 through 7 games.
He already has 3. Man, I didn't think he rushed at all though. Like it's been Ray Davis and James Cook. Like James Cook is having like a ton of touchdowns right now.
Yeah.
So good progress.
But I mean, he has to stay under 10, and he's got
Yeah.
3 through 7 games, so he's on that
track.
pace.
we're on track.
You're looking good. And then in the NFC East, I had Dallas to miss the playoffs at plus 170. I'm loving that bet more and more each week. They're 3-3, currently like the 10th seed. Love it. Austin had top 2 division order, Philly and then Washington at plus 700.
I still like that.
And I like it too. Right now it's Washington, Philly, but with the Jaden injury, 7-1 odds. I like that.
That was plus 700.
That was plus because it has to be the exact order. It has to be Philly 1, Washington 2.
That's really good though. Good job, Austin.
Yeah. And then Rosie, you had Jaden Daniels regular season passing touchdowns over 16.5 at minus 125. I know he got injured, but he's already got 6 through 7 games. So
Not bad.
he's on pace. He's on pace. We like that. All right, let's go to the AFC South. This is just going to be Alex and I. I had, honestly, the AFC South as a whole, both of these are just atrocious bets in hindsight. Just absolutely gross. Okay.
I mean, the team's imploded. So let's hear it.
I had Anthony Richardson to throw 25 plus passing touchdowns and score 10 plus rushing touchdowns at 9-1.
What's
Might
the at
do
right now?
that
And-
in his career.
He's got 3 passing and 1 rushing.
All right. Not on pace.
Not on pace at all. Joe Flacco has more passing touchdowns this season. Like he's got like double as Anthony Richardson. And then Alex, do you remember what your AFC South bet was?
Yeah, the Jags to win the division, or
Jags over 8.5 wins at even odds. And they're 2-5.
That's still doable.
Yeah. If they run the table, they won this week.
I think they
Here
have
we
a
come.
tough schedule.
They'd have to
too.
go.
They have a pretty tough schedule.
They'd have to go what 7 and let's see 2-5
Over
7
8.5.
and 3 over the final 10.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
Nah. Oh, well.
And then in the NFC South, I had Bijan to score 10 plus rushing touchdowns and 5 plus receiving touchdowns at 11-1.
great.
And
Right,
he's at
that's
4 rushing, 0 receiving. So he's got to pick the receiving up quite a bit. But
Yeah. Only 5.
it's still alive. Still alive. And then Alex, you had this one really hurts after the Mike Evans injury. You had Mike Evans to catch 13 or more passing touchdowns at 5-1. And he's already
Yeah,
at
he was
6
on-
through 7 games.
He was on track perfectly, and then
Yeah. So still alive, especially when he comes back. Godwin's going to be out. So there's, funneling
you go
everything
up.
through him. But that one hurts. That one really hurts. All right. AFC North. Mine was top 2 in the division will be Ravens and then Bengals at plus 325. Currently it's Ravens Steelers, but Ravens Bengals, I actually feel pretty good about that. I think the Bengals can surpass Pittsburgh. So I'm not throwing that one away quite yet. Trent had Bengals as the 1 seed in the AFC at 6-1. They're currently the 9 seed. So not
Probably
looking
not gonna
great.
happen.
We already hit on Alex's that missed on the Ravens to score a field goal in every regular season game. But the other one we had was Rosie. You've got the Steelers under 7.5 wins at plus 135, and they're already 5-2.
They can lose out. They're not that good.
So they would need,
back. Russ is back.
yeah,
No.
they would need to go 2-8 rest of the way.
They're not going 2-8 with
That's-
that defense.
Have
Yeah.
they played like any division games yet?
They play them all
They
at
played the
end of
Browns,
season.
if that counts.
Oh wait, no, it's the Ravens. Sorry.
No, that does not count.
Or no, was it the Browns? Did I make that up? No, the Browns played the Bengals. This
No, I
past
don't
week,
think
that's
they've
what I'm
played
thinking
it. I think they play all their division games at the end of the year.
of. You're right. Yeah. So They play 4. So the next 2 weeks they've got Giants, Commanders, and then they go Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, and then honestly, so they end the season Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals.
Ooh.
I think
Yeah, that's tough.
you know,
They better stack their wins up before the bye week.
still alive.
Yeah. All right. NFC North. So Trent had Green Bay exact position 4th at plus 650. They're currently 3rd. So that one's alive. Green Bay could absolutely be 4th in that division, and the whole division could make the playoffs. So
I wonder what those odds would have been. Whole division to make the playoffs.
all 4 teams to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Probably it had to have been
Maybe like
insane, right?
10-1, bro.
At least
more
I
than
would
that.
think, right? Rosie, yours is TBD because you have the Lions to win the NFC at 5-1. So
On track.
TBD on that. And then Alex, you had Amon-Ra to score 13 or more receiving touchdowns. I don't have the odds on that one actually. Huh. But he's got
Probably
4 through 6 games. So he's close to being on pace.
You get hot.
Absolutely. Jameson out 2 games.
Oh, there
Could
we
easily
go.
rack up.
That can't be even
4.
odds though, right? 13 is a ton.
It was
No,
probably like
I don't know what
something like that.
I don't know what the odds were, but we'll have to go.
I don't think he's gotten that many before.
And then mine, I had was this the largest odds that we had on any bet? Hold on, I'm scanning through it right now. No, it's tied with. Jeez.
You okay?
Airball.
It's tied with Alex's Seahawks bet, which we'll get to. But I had DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet, each with 5+ receiving touchdowns at 17-1 odds.
I hated that
Here's
one.
You did. 17-1. Here's what they've got so far. DJ Moore has 3, looking great. Rome only has 1, so we need him to pick it up. Keenan Allen has 2, and I know he's missed some time. And Cole Kmet has 3. And they've only played 6 games. What's that?
We need one of them to get hurt, and then Rome will.
We need DJ Moore to get his 5, and then have like a soft tissue or something.
Oh yeah, that's the ticket.
But it's in play.
Oh yeah,
It's in play. Yeah. So I'm not hating that one. And then okay, so we'll wrap up with the West divisions. NFC West. I typed out any Xavier Worthy prop over 750.5 receiving yards at -110, over 4.5 receiving touchdowns, even odds. Receiving yards, he's had 198 so far. So just behind pace, but close. That one I think I'm going to be sweating out this season. And then
pretty disappointing with all the receiver injuries that they've had.
I know, man.
Yeah, he's sort of been a non-factor last year.
I didn't think that he would be, but when Hollywood got hurt, I thought that would jumpstart him, but no.
And then Rashee Rice gets hurt, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. No. And then over 4.5 receiving touchdowns, he's got 2 so far. So I like our chances there. And we already hit on Austin's that missed on the Chiefs to score 1+ passing touchdowns every game, and Alex's, which is the only one that's hit so far, on being the last undefeated team, Chiefs 8-1. All right, NFC West. Austin had DK 10+ touchdowns, and he's got 3 through 7 games. So little behind pace, but he could do it depending on how long he's out with his injury. Yeah. And then Alex, you had Seahawks to finish first in the division, Rams to finish second at 17-1 odds.
Dang.
That one I don't think that one's going to hit, but
no,
technically still could.
Rams,
I mean, if they trade
about
Cooper Kupp.
Selling Stafford too.
I saw that.
Vikings.
You see the report about the Vikings?
Why? Like they were hyping up Sam Darnold like No one else.
Yeah, but if you have a chance to go get Matthew Stafford,
Oh yeah, no, that's an upgrade. I would
That's a
be
huge
so sad.
you'd be so mad. I want it to happen just for that, because you'd be so
Ooh.
mad.
Oh, the memes would be great.
Yeah. And then mine, this was my complicated one, because it's like a two-parter. I said bet 2 units on the Niners to finish second at 2-1, and then bet 1 unit on the Niners to finish third at 10-1. I don't think they're finishing first, so I don't hate that strategy.
Both in play, yeah.
Both in play. I'd love for them to finish third because that's obviously the most return on investment. But yeah, that's our bets from the preseason. Not bad, right?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah,
Better than what I've been doing lately. So
good surprise segment.
yeah, and
Good.
great even.
Okay, hey, let's run through some of the stuff from week 7. I know we've kind of talked about a lot of it so far. Before we get into all these games, Alex,
Yes.
Sunday takes. What you got?
Well, we've probably hit on most of them, like the injuries, Seahawks sort of being back on track after a rough stretch. But I think the one that sort of capped the cherry on top for me, I was happy for my guy Russ actually looking like a decent NFL quarterback again on Sunday night. Game all to himself, standalone, sort of took down Rodgers. Rodgers looks terrible. We can talk about that too. And then the Jets just debacle of a team like they always been. But Rush just looked great. He still can't run. He can't really move, but he has the floating ability and the deep ball still in his pocket like it never left. And it was just nice to see, like, just throw it up to George Pickens. He has amazing in-air ball skills like I've not seen with many guys before. And I'm just excited to see what the Steelers can do. I think I was really down on the Steelers early in the season, but I'm sort of a believer now. I think with that defense, and if Russ can just not turn the ball over and do what he did on Sunday, give his guys a chance, I think this team might be a real player in the AFC.
Yeah, I think jump balls to Pickens isn't going to work out for too long. Like, that's how they move the ball down.
I mean, that's his whole career, though. Like, that's what his number one attribute as a receiver is in ball skills.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
not going to be consistent.
He
Like,
catches balls like centers catch rebounds. Like, he's just always – there's always a chance with him in the air, in my opinion. From what
I was a buyer of Pickens the last couple weeks. Like, I thought that Russ was going to make a difference for him, and obviously that is the case. But I don't think that it's going to change an Arthur Smith offense. Like, yeah, they scored 35 points. I can't remember the last time they've done that. I don't think it'll be consistent.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the 35 points almost made me forget about Arthur Smith for that one game. Like, it was just nice to see somewhat of a vintage Russ performance on Sunday night.
It was nice to see some improvement because the first couple drives did not look good, and I was like, "Oh man!"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh crap, they're gonna go back to Fields."
Here we go again.
Did y'all like that
No.
move?
I mean, I thought it was weird because Fields didn't do anything to lose the job, but then once you saw what he could do, once the 2-minute drive hit and they sort of opened the offense up more, that's the reason why Russ is on the field and Fields is off. Like, if they need to win a shootout game, Fields is not the type of quarterback that's going to do that. It's going to be Russ.
Okay. So if quarterback battles are like on a spectrum, then all the way over on this side being the least interesting is Aiden O'Connell versus Gardner Minshew. Yeah. And the most interesting, what's like a famous quarterback battle?
Like of all time?
Gosh. Yeah, just like in general.
Dak, Tony Romo.
Okay. Dak, Tony Romo. I like that. All the way over here, Dak, Tony Romo. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is probably like somewhere between the middle
Yeah,
and O'Connell and Minshew.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. The Steelers aren't winning a playoff game with either of them.
Probably not.
Unless you guys think otherwise.
Really just depending on matchup.
Their defense is good.
Like their defense could win them a wild card game for sure. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. The Steelers just
That's what they do.
They have not been interesting to me in like 8 years.
Yeah, since like Big Ben slinging it to Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't. Let's see. They haven't made it to the divisional round since 2017. So, yeah, 7 years ago. And they haven't made it to the conference finals since 2016. So, the Steelers, I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, let's talk about the Bills. They go down 10-0 to Tennessee. Then they rattle off 34 straight points to beat the Titans 34-10. And my question, and I'll pose it to Rosie to start. Should we be talking about Josh Allen more with what he has done to start the season?
Like as an MVP?
As an MVP, as like, I think it's, at least so far this season, the best quarterback play by far has been him and Lamar. And then you could throw Jaden Daniels into that as well. But
I don't want
whatever.
to either.
Yeah.
No, I think Josh Allen's getting slept on. He had a bad game 2 weeks ago. Who was that against? I just remember everyone giving him crap like, oh, he needs to be benched.
Was that the Texans game? Or no. That was when they got embarrassed by the Ravens 35-10.
Yes.
I think that was a primetime game.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah. That was Sunday Night Football.
I think he's going to be much better with Amari Cooper. They obviously needed someone to win on the outside. They had big slot, small slot, tight end slot, running back slot, and that's it. So,
yeah.
Also, the offensive line has been very healthy for him and has been protecting well. And that's allowing Josh Allen to just go through his reads and not panic and throw a stupid pick six, which he was doing last year. So I'm hoping that if he can build off of what he's doing right now and then add in a couple big plays of Mark Cooper, then yeah, I think he should be the MVP. But right now he's like kind of game managery.
I honestly, that is such a huge development for Josh Allen as a quarterback that you can even call him a game manager, because Josh Allen is like that meme of like, inside you there are two wolves, like one, the good Josh Allen is the one who goes through his progressions, makes the smart decisions. If it's not there, you throw it away or whatever. And bad Josh Allen is like, no, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make something out of nothing. And that's where the interceptions usually come. Do you guys may know this off the top of your head. How many interceptions does Josh Allen have this season?
0.
Yep.
0.
Until this weekend.
He's got 12 touchdowns.
Oh,
are they playing the
right,
Seahawks? Of course.
Witherspoon.
One's coming.
All right.
back.
So this brings me to my stat of the week. Decided to dedicate it to Josh Allen.
Shout out, Josh.
Josh Allen, he's played 7 games this season. And as we just mentioned, he's got 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Do you want to know how many quarterbacks in NFL history have had in 7 or less games, basically 7 or less games, 12 touchdowns and 0 picks in a season in the entire NFL?
Like ever?
Ever.
I'm going to say 8.
4.
It's just Josh Allen.
Seriously?
He's alone.
All right.
That's I didn't.
Pretty good game manager.
I mean, I can think of like Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady just never throwing a pick till like halfway through the season.
So
that's insane though.
That is.
yeah. Let me make sure that I filtered it correctly. Yeah. So I said single seasons, passing or interceptions 0, games 7 or less, and passing touchdowns 12 or more. And it's Josh Allen. That's it. The only ones that are close. So if you expand that to be 10 or more passing touchdowns, and 10 or less games and 2 or less interceptions, that list is only 9 deep. And what's funny is one of the other 9 outside of Josh Allen is actually Lamar Jackson this season, because he's got 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So
very impressive.
Josh Allen, good at football. That's
do.
That's the take.
What?
Yeah. I know. Breaking news. First reported here on Making the Call.
I might rather have him than Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, Daniel Jones. Heard he got benched. Did you hear about that, Andrew? Well, the fan
Did
club's
I hear
not
about that?
He didn't get benched. They were blown out.
Yeah,
Josh Allen has never been benched for Drew Lock.
Oh
He
yeah,
might have been benched for Mitchell Trubisky though.
yeah, but they were getting blown
That's what I'm saying.
out.
I have a lot of wrong sports takes, but the fact that like Alex and I seem to be on this island about Daniel Jones among the Making the Call guys is just so weird. It's so bizarre.
I've never made it. I just like enticing everyone.
Okay, so you can say that, but like Austin and Trent truly are like, they won't give up on Daniel Jones, and
Austin flip flops every other week.
it just doesn't make any sense, man. It's so weird. He's so bad.
We don't have to talk about him anymore.
Like, gosh, he's so bad. All right. Packers, they squeaked out a win against the Texans 24-22, and it was just an absolutely gross game offensively for the Houston Texans. I'm going to read off some of these stats, kind of go John Gruden on TikTok style. CJ Stroud, 10 for 21 passing for 86 yards. Joe Mixon had a good day. He was the only bright spot. 25 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their leading receiver was Dalton Schultz with 1 reception for 28 yards. Next up was Stephon Diggs, 5 receptions for 23 yards. Tank Dell, 0 on 4 targets. It was gross. And first, okay, let's start with that. And then I have kind of a bigger question about the Texans. Is this concerning at all? Because Nico Collins, we talked about how great he is, but, and I know obviously missing him in this team, that's got to count for something. But you still have Stephon Diggs, you still have Tank Dell, you still have Dalton Schultz, who's a fine tight end, and you've got Joe Mixon, and you've got CJ Stroud. This offense can't be this bad. Just can't.
Yeah, I don't think that it's hard to have a take on this because I think before the season started, I thought that they would be good, but how everyone was talking about how it's going to be better than last year because you're adding Diggs. It can always be worse. Like, it wasn't a guarantee that Diggs would, and I think Diggs has played relatively well but it's not a guarantee that Diggs is going to come in and take the offense to like the best offense in the league. And I think that's mostly because the offensive line, like no one talks about it, but they are just a bunch of dudes, like just random guys. Like I think they have
That's true.
one Pro Bowler, and they were getting eaten alive.
And it's Tunsil, and he has 2 false starts a game basically.
Right. The Packers destroyed them. Like Rashawn Gary had, don't even know how many pressures he had, but Stroud was getting pressured on like every single drop back. The Packers finally have a good defensive coordinator after so long of having just absolute garbage, and he's taking some
Joe Barry, baby.
Yeah, Joe Barry. Loved having him in the division. Miss him a lot.
Yeah.
But he's taking some of the Brian Flores concepts of like blitzing and stuff and incorporating it into their defense. And so that's why you saw Joe Mixon do well and Stroud not do well. Because, that's how you beat that blitz heavy team is you have to run on them.
So my bigger question is about Bobby Slowick, and he was talked about in the same breath as like Ben Johnson and kind of these, this next wave of up and coming offensive gurus in the NFL, and got interviewed for head coaching jobs, ended up staying in Houston. Was it too premature to just assume Bobby Slowick was this incredible offensive coordinator when he has CJ Stroud as his quarterback? Because honestly, I watch these Texans games. There's a lot to be desired from a play calling standpoint. And like we're talking about, even without Nico Collins, they've got the dudes, but this offense just looks really stale. And part of me wonders if we were too quick to put Bobby Slowick in that same kind of realm of play callers, because compared to Ben Johnson, like don't ever put those two in the same conversation again. Don't ever do it. I don't know, Alex, what do you think?
I think it's sort of in that realm where like there's now a full season of tape of him and CJ Stroud on, and defenses have adjusted and they have sort of a system that shuts them down a bit. And now it's his turn to sort of tweak his system with CJ and figure out what can work as well as it did last year. Because last year, CJ Stroud as a rookie had a fringe MVP season. So I don't think it's a shock that in those eyes, he's having sort of a down year this year. Like it was just probably expected. Like he was just amazing last year.
Yeah, I think you have to put equal part blame on Stroud as well. Like he's not playing as well as he did his rookie year, and maybe that's because he had tape on him. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, NFL seasons are so short. Like we don't really know if anyone's going to keep it up, and I think Stroud's definitely good. He's definitely going to be in that top tier of like guys that you would trade everything for. But calling him like on par with Patrick Mahomes, like let's see it one more year, and we're seeing it this year, and he's just not he's not creating as much as he did last year. And honestly, this is not a full-fledged thought, but last year they would run Dameon Pierce into the back of their offensive lineman for like 1 or 2 yards on first and second down, and then say, Stroud, go win us this play, and he would. They're not doing that this year. They're trying to run the ball more. I think maybe that's like against the Packers, yeah, that's good, but maybe that's doing him a disservice of not putting the ball in his hands where he can be the guy. Because I feel like when Joe Mixon is on the field, like he's their offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I got a few things. I've referenced Ben Baldwin a lot He owns the Running Backs Don't Matter website, which has a lot of like the EPA charts, and great follow on Twitter because he'll put each week he'll post basically this huge thread of different kind of charts and data points and whatnot from the season so far, and it's great to reference because he puts things in a way that just makes it's really easy to understand. So I got a few that I want to show you, specifically highlighting the Texans. This is why you need to be watching on Spotify, because I'm just gonna share the screen here real quick, and you'll be able to see it. Okay, let's see. All right, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Explain to me what I'm looking at.
So this is offensive series results. So it's basically the rate at which each offense earns a new set of downs. Okay. So first on the list is Washington, because if you look at all of their offensive series, 12% have ended in a touchdown. 70% they have gotten a first down. And then you look at it, 11% field goal, 6% punt, 2% turnover. Okay, so they're number one because the sum of touchdown plus first down is 82%, which is better than anyone else. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go through this, it's all the teams you would expect, right? Washington's at the top, Baltimore is second, Tampa Bay at third, Detroit fourth, Kansas City fifth, San Francisco sixth. Houston is 22nd. They are worse than the Steelers, just better than the Jets.
Worse than the Cowboys.
Worse than the Cowboys. You can't be 22nd if you're the Texans.
And that's with a 5% turnover rate too.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the lower ones.
Crap.
That's one of the lower ones. Like only scoring
about them, but the Dolphins' touchdown percentage at 4% is pitiful.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I mean, the Dolphins have averaged like 10 points a game the last four weeks. It's insane.
Yes.
But the Texans being 22nd is just shocking. Like only, what is the total? 69%. Nice. But being just better than the Jets and the Giants, that's gross. Okay. Here's another one. This is early down rushing and passing offensive efficiency. So just on early downs, and you can see he's got the little arrows to help you. Go further down the x-axis, you're more efficient passing on early downs. Go up the y-axis, you're more efficient rushing. Look where the Texans are. Like from a passing efficiency standpoint, they're worse than the Giants and the Patriots. They're only better than the Raiders, the Panthers, the Titans, the Saints, and the Browns. And from a rushing efficiency standpoint, they're only better than the Jets, Browns, Giants, Cowboys, Patriots, Raiders, Chargers, and Dolphins. Like that is
all those
that
teams
is
are
just,
like awful at rushing the ball. Other than
all those teams are
maybe the
awful.
Chargers.
Same with passing. Yeah. It's just not a great formula.
And like, what's the key to being a good offense is, are you taking care of business on first and second down? Are you avoiding third downs? Are you avoiding third and longs? And like, okay, look up and to the right. That's where you want to be, right? Who's here? Baltimore, Detroit, Buffalo, Washington. That makes sense. How are the Texans with all those weapons? And this is for the whole season. So this is including having Nico Collins for the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, this really speaks to the offensive line in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the offensive line
might be
is
right.
mid, and no one was talking about it before the season.
Yeah. No, yeah. You might be right. But yeah, go follow, shameless plug, go follow Ben Baldwin on Twitter, because he posts, I mean, this whole thread of things every week. And it's just, let's actually look at the Texans. This is pass block grade of offensive linemen and true pass sets only. Texans are 18th, so just past middle of the pack. So definitely, slightly below average. But yeah, go check these out. This is one that I always think is fun. This is betting market conference and Super Bowl odds. So Chiefs 30% chance to win the conference, 16% chance to win the Super Bowl according to Vegas. You can kind of see as it goes down. Vegas truly thinks it's basically Buffalo, San Francisco, Detroit, Baltimore, and Kansas City as the teams who truly have a chance to, win their conference or win the Super Bowl. Then there's a pretty significant drop off once you get to like Minnesota and Houston. But go follow him. He's got a lot of good stuff. All right. Let's see what else we got on the docket for this week. Let's do Rosie's fantasy roundup. Let's go ahead and do that, Rosie.
Okay. So it's time for Rosie's roundup.
It's
And
time for Rosie's roundup.
I thought we'd have a watch party. So we're going to do a rookie watch, a bust watch, and a breakout watch.
Ooh, okay.
So our rookie to watch is Jalen McMillan, receiver for Tampa Bay. I really liked him coming out. He, in my mind, was playing a lot better than Jalen Polk, even though everyone had Polk higher. And he was in Washington their sophomore year. He was better than Rome Odunze. Like, he was the wide receiver one going into that team. And then obviously Rome Odunze went off, and McMillan was dealing with some injuries and stuff. But now he has a chance to showcase that he's the one. And I want to pull up his schedule as well to tell you why you should buy him. So after their bye week in week 11, they play the Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers.
Ooh.
To end the season.
Yikes.
You'll probably have Mike Evans back after the bye, but he's one of the only ones in this draft class that can win all over the field. Like, he runs all different kinds of routes. He runs from the slot, from outside. And now that he has an opportunity without Godwin and Evans, I think that he's gonna show out for sure.
Okay.
So that's the rookie watch. And then our breakout watch. This is a guy that hasn't done well, but I think towards the end of the season he's going to break out. It's Chris Olave. Like, stat heads have loved him for a really long time. And I thought he was going to have a good season. It hasn't really worked out. Shaheed has kind of outproduced him. Well, Shaheed's gone now. Derek Carr should be back next week, and then their offensive line should get a little bit healthier throughout the year. So Olave is going to be the guy for the rest of the season. And their end of their playoff schedule, or fantasy playoffs, after the bye week in week 12, they play the Rams, Giants, Commanders, Packers, Raiders. So that's pretty freaking good if Derek Carr can stay healthy.
Yeah.
And if Olave is getting, if he's the only guy and he's getting all the targets, I don't know how that, he can bust at this point unless he gets hurt again. And he sat out last week because he had a concussion. I don't think that's going to be too
crazy.
Yeah, too crazy. And this one stat from what's the NFL Plus thing?
Oh yeah,
it's called
NFL Pro.
Yeah, NFL Pro.
Oh, you've been using it?
Yeah. I really like it. I use it when I can, but they have these insights. Chris Olave has averaged 11.3 yards of route depth this season, down from 13.5 in 2023 and 13.8 2022. So he's running shorter routes, which is actually really good for fantasy. It means that he is going to get more targets, he's going to get more receptions, and he's not just a deep threat. And we're forgetting completely about Kubiak and how amazing he was the first 2 weeks of the season before everyone got hurt and New Orleans got nuked. But I think that he's a great buy low, and he's going to be a breakout. And for the bus watch, I have George Kittle. I think everyone's going to be wanting to buy him right now with Ayuk being out, but he does his dirty work where Debo is. And Debo has been injured quite a bit this season. He should be completely fine coming back from pneumonia. Kittle is also dealing with a foot injury himself. He's been hurt basically every single season that he's been in the league. Yeah. And when Christian McCaffrey is back, which will probably be like week 11, I just don't think that Kittle has historically been a part of the offense like he's being used right now.
Yeah.
He's the number one tight end in fantasy. He's not going to keep that up. And if you can sell him with Ayuk being injured and someone's going to think that that's going to correlate, I would try to get as much as you can. So bust George Kittle.
Bust George Kittle. Okay. One quick little stat, because you mentioned targets with Chris Olave, because this is just one of my favorite stats right now going in the NFL. Wan'Dale Robinson on the Giants. He is second in the league in targets so far with 67. He is 47th in receiving yards among qualified wide receivers.
Should not be possible.
Second in targets, 47th in receiving yards.
Although you do look at him and you're like, you're not going to get a lot of yards.
It's crazy. He's got 67 targets, 43 receptions for 303 receiving yards. Insane.
Golly.
Wow.
Real quick, I know I've got the Colts Dolphins on the dock. I really don't want to talk about that game. It was gross.
Pass.
Rosie, your thoughts? Lions beating the Vikings 31-29.
I'll make it quick. We're doing a disservice. This was like by far the best game of the week.
True.
It was so good. Like it was so back and forth. I think Trent said it best. It was a great game. Back and forth. Both of these teams prove that they are playoff and Super Bowl contenders, but the better team won. And if the Lions didn't mess up early, like with the fake punt that didn't work out, and just offense being stagnant for a little bit, I think Goff and Ben Johnson have really figured out how to beat Brian Flores. Like they are by far the best team on offense against Brian Flores. And with that being said, Goff has had a 3-game run of something that we've never seen before in the NFL. Like he's only missed a handful of throws the last 3 weeks, which is absolutely insane. I don't think he's going to keep it up. I don't really like him as a quarterback, but if he plays this,
when was their bye week?
Week 5.
Week 5. Okay. Okay. No, sorry. Keep going.
But Seahawks, Cowboys, and then Vikings, he's been incredible. Do you guys think he's going to keep it up? Because if he does, I think Lions should be the Super Bowl favorites.
He did it against the Vikings, which is a really good defense. So that tells me that he can. But honestly, what Jared Goff is doing is awesome. But this whole offense is just a buzzsaw. It just, I don't know. It's probably it's like Detroit and Baltimore, I think, are my 2 favorite teams to watch right now. Just because the offense is so electric and it's so much fun, and for 2 completely different reasons, right? Like Jared Goff gets back there and he is executing everything, at a really high level. He knows where to go with the football. He knows what reads. And he's like, let me just get it to these freaks of nature that I've got in skill position guys and let them make it happen, right? Whereas Lamar Jackson is like, I'm actually probably the biggest freak of nature in the NFL. So
Other than
I'm gonna
Derrick
make it
Henry.
happen. Oh yeah, let me introduce you to the other freak of nature to my right, Derrick Henry, right? And both those teams are so much fun, and the Lions, like in what looks like a stacked NFC, the Lions, I think have a good as chance as anyone. But honestly, like this game, and I just finished glazing the Lions, so don't take this as a slight, Rosie, and I don't think you will. This game told me more about the Vikings because they hung with the Lions, and it's like those two teams seemed so evenly matched to where you play that matchup 10 times. I think it's like 5-5, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that I needed to see that from the Vikings. I know they were undefeated, but seeing that Flores defense against a Ben Johnson offense told me a lot. And Sam Darnold had to play from behind, which he hasn't had to do all season. And he made he made some good throws. Like he looked good back there. It didn't help that he was in the same game with Goff, who literally couldn't miss a throw. But I don't know. The NFC North is just bonkers fun, and I'm loving it. Like as a neutral observer, I'm loving it.
I mean, comparing the two defenses, because I thought the Lions defense played pretty well, even though they gave up 29 points. Like you can look at this box score and say, oh man, 60 points, that's a lot. But honestly, like the defense has played really well, and it's kind of fun to see the weaknesses right now, because the Lions without Hutch, like it's hard for them to get pressure on the outside. And then with the Vikings, they're playing Stephon Gilmore at corner, and he's really good, but he's like 35 or something. And so he was getting cooked on some plays, and then their other cornerback is not very good either. So they have a severe weakness at corner. So it's going to be fun to just see if these defenses can like hold it together the whole year.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. It was a really fun game. Alex, any thoughts from you on Lions Vikings?
No, like you said, I think my just thoughts on Jared Goff. Just don't have him do too much. Keep him clean in the pocket. And I think this is the year for him. This is just his golden year. This is his year. If he's going to do it, ride with him right now.
One more thing, really quick.
Okay.
Yes.
My position on him in the past has been like, if you are not a difference maker at quarterback, you need to be perfect. Like Tom Brady, not a difference maker at quarterback. Like from an arm talent, rushing, like you need one of those things to like be good on your team. Tom Brady's just the perfect quarterback. And so if you have that kind of skill set, like you never miss a throw and you always make the right decision, you can be best in the NFL. And right now Goff is playing like that. It's just he's inconsistent.
Yeah. If he stays within structure, as Alex said, he's great. And Rosie, I do think you have been too hard on him in the past. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that would do well behind this chainsaw, as you said.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gosh, it's
yeah.
fun. You guys got anything else from week 7 or anything at all before we wrap up? I know this is one of the longer podcasts.
No, just
No.
ready for the next week.
Ready to go to bed.
Ready to go to bed. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Making the Call. The dad joke this week, which I'm excited to,
Read aloud.
I feel like my dad jokes will have to go up a level once I'm officially in the club. Right now, I'm just kind of a wannabe. But the dad joke this week: for your birthday, you get to choose your present, either a Hispanic man or a swimming mammal, but it has to be Juan or the otter.
Nice.
It's really good.
I like it. It's a good one. It's
All
a good
right.
start.
All right, that'll do it. We will be back next week. We'll be making our updates to our playoff predictions from before the season. and we'll review those to see how all those are stacking up. We'll also be breaking down all the action from week 8 of the NFL season. And who knows, maybe Alex and Austin and myself, we might even talk about the start to the Mavs season, because that tips off Thursday this week. So
Thursday against the Spurs at home.
Can't wait for that. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Oh, I've been holding that one in.